A young hunter sits beside a quiet river. The day's work is over. The sun slowly disappears behind the trees. Nothing is left to gather. Nothing is left to repair. Nothing is left to hunt. For the first time today, there is only silence. Today, we would probably call that boredom. But here's the question. Would an ancient human have felt the same thing? Most people assume boredom has always been part of being human, but researchers believe the answer may be far more surprising. Psychologists describe boredom in a simple way. It's the feeling of wanting something meaningful to happen while nothing around you seems worth your attention. That probably sounds familiar, until you remember one important difference. 30,000 years ago, the world almost never stopped demanding attention. Every sound mattered. Every smell mattered. A broken branch could mean danger. Fresh footprints could mean food. Even the direction of the wind could change your next decision. Nature never stopped asking questions, and your survival depended on answering them. Most people imagine prehistoric life as repetitive. Wake up, find food, sleep, repeat. Simple. But that's not what researchers studying hunter-gatherer societies discovered. Very little stayed the same. The weather changed, animals migrated, plants ripened, rivers flooded. The seasons transformed entire landscapes. The same forest could become a completely different place within just a few weeks. Ancient humans lived inside a world that was constantly changing, and the human brain is naturally drawn toward novelty. Every day brought something different. A new trail track, a different bird call, fresh berries growing where none existed yesterday. The environment itself rewarded curiosity. But life wasn't filled with constant excitement. There were quiet hours, long walks, time spent watching a river, waiting for fish, watching distant animals, listening, doing almost nothing at all. Wouldn't that become boring? At first, it certainly sounds like it would, but researchers noticed something fascinating. Modern boredom usually appears when our brains expect stimulation and don't receive it. Ancient humans expected something completely different. Silence wasn't empty. Silence was information. If birds suddenly stopped singing, something had changed. If the forest became unusually quiet, it could mean danger. If the wind shifted, animals might change direction. Waiting wasn't wasted time. Waiting was observation. Observation was preparation, and preparation increased your chances of surviving tomorrow. A hunter sitting beside a river for 2 hours wasn't doing nothing. He was watching, learning, preparing, and that changes the meaning of boredom completely. Most people today experience something very different. Our remains rarely demand constant awareness. Instead, we create stimulation. Phones, music, videos, notifications, an endless stream of something new. When all of that disappears, many people immediately feel restless. Researchers believe the modern brain is becoming accustomed to constant novelty delivered artificially. Every swipe offers something different. Every notification promises something interesting. Every video competes for your attention. Over time, ordinary reality begins to feel quieter than it really is. Ancient humans didn't need artificial novelty. Reality itself was interesting enough. Every trail told a story. Every footprint raised a question. Every unfamiliar sound demanded attention. The world rewarded observation. Modern life often rewards distraction. But there was another reason ancient life may have felt so different. People. Humans have always been deeply social creatures. Stories were shared, skills were taught, children learned by watching adults, meals were shared, problems were solved together. Long before books, long before television, long before the internet, people entertained one another. But stories weren't simply entertainment, they were knowledge. A story about a dangerous river could save a life. A story about a failed hunt could prevent another mistake. A story about the stars could guide an entire journey. Entertainment and survival became the same thing. Of course, none of this proves ancient humans never felt bored. Scientists simply can't know for certain. Boredom leaves no fossils, no footprints, no physical evidence. But researchers can study the conditions that create it, and those conditions appear very different from the world we live in today. Because ancient attention belonged to the world, modern attention often belongs to a screen. Today, we have more entertainment than any generation in history. Movies, games, social media, infinite videos, infinite music, infinite information. Yet millions of people still describe themselves as bored. That sounds like a contradiction, until you realize something surprising. Perhaps boredom isn't created by having too little to do. Perhaps it's created by noticing too little. Ancient humans owned very little, but they noticed almost everything. Every tree, every footprint, every cloud, every bird, every change in the wind. Today, many of us own almost everything, yet notice almost nothing. And maybe that's the strangest realization of all. The world hasn't become less interesting. We've simply become less attentive. 30,000 years ago, someone could sit beside a river for hours, watching the water, listening to the forest, feeling the changing wind. Not because nothing was happening, but because everything was. Perhaps ancient humans weren't better at avoiding boredom. Perhaps they simply lived inside a world they never stopped noticing. And maybe that's the lesson they still have to teach us. Not how to survive, but how to pay attention. Because sometimes, the difference between an ordinary life and an extraordinary one is simply noticing what has been there all along.